to study at SAIT and in Canada at large. So first, I think I'll let Shefumi share her screen and start. She said she has a brief introduction, and then after Shefumi shares her screen to give us a brief overview of SAIT, Vivian, you go next. Thank you very much. Shefumi, are you ready, please?
Hi, Christine. Yes, hello, everyone. I'm ready, but I am not able to turn on my video, my camera. I think you've restricted it.
Okay. Please just hold on a second. You'll be able to get access now to do that.
Okay.
All right.
All right, great. Hi, everyone. My name is Shifumi. I won't be sharing my screen now. I just wanted to do like a brief introduction about SAIT, just so you know who we are, what we do, what we offer. But before that, I have an interesting announcement. I have an application fee waiver for any student that stays till the end of the webinar. So make sure you don't leave. Southern Alberta Institute of Technology is an institution in Calgary. It's a leading institution of technology in Calgary, Alberta, and we have been in existence for over 100 years. We are known for, we have the reputation for providing hands-on training, career-focused training for students who want to explore the job market in Canada or across the world. We have over 70 programs for students to choose from, and most of these programs, like I said, are hands-on. That is, they have, most of them have co-op opportunities for students. If you want to build a good career for yourself after your studies in Canada, then think Southern Alberta Institute of Technology, because we have we have support for both students and graduates of Southern Alberta Institute of Technology. As a matter of fact, something that is not very common. After graduating from Southern Alberta Institute of Technology, you know that our institution, we have a department that still supports employers in Calgary who employ students from SAIT, graduates of SAIT. That is not common. I think SAIT is the only institution in Canada that does that. So after my colleague Vivian presents, I will be talking more about choosing why it is important to choose SAIT, how SAIT supports you through your studies and after your studies, and why Calgary is the right place for you to start in Canada. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Shefumi, for that introduction. We are very excited, first off, about the application fee waiver. And I'm sure our students here would want to stay to the end to also benefit from this waiver as well. So thank you very much. Vivian, if you are here, please, you can go on with your presentation now. Thank you.
Hi there. Good morning or good evening, wherever you are. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I've put a short presentation. It's only 10 slides, but it is jam-packed with information. Let me just go ahead and bear with me as I navigate this. Okay, are you seeing, okay, there we go.
Yes, we can.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. I'm also recovering from a little bit of a sickness, and so if my voice is sounding a little bit off, just know that that's why. Okay, so like I mentioned, thank you. Thank you everyone for being here and joining this session. My name is Vivian Trudel. I'm a regulated international student immigration advisor with the International Center here at SAIT. I just want to confirm you're seeing the presentation slide, is that right?
Yes, we can see your screen, and it's showing study permit application.
Okay, thank you so much. So Today, I'll cover some key aspects of preparing and submitting a successful study permit application, but I'll focus on tools and resources and requirements to help guide you through this process. So, as I mentioned, I've created 10 slides to provide you with an overview of the Canadian study permit application process, and my goal is really to highlight the importance of creating a thorough and robust application package by showcasing some of the key tools at your disposal and emphasizing a few crucial components, such as the inclusion of a study plan and strong financials. I thought I would start off by showing you what a typical document checklist looks like once you have gone through creating an account with IRCC and created your document checklist. If you're a single applicant, meaning you're applying just for yourself and you're not bringing any family members, this is what it would look like, okay? So you'll notice at the very top, you have the application form itself, which is Form IMM 1294. Your application will also require a scanned copy of your passport, your letter of acceptance from SAIT, your provincial attestation letter, that is also an additional document that you get from SAIT, proof of means of financial support, a digital photo, and finally, the family information form, which is Form IMM 5645. This is a form that will ask you some information about your family members. It includes your spouse, your parents, your children, and it's information that becomes part of your immigration record and may be used to verify your personal information in the future. You'll also notice at the bottom that I included a screenshot of optional documents. It mentions optional, but in the case when you're applying for a study permit from outside of Canada, these documents are not optional. You'll also need to include the IMM 5257 form, which is an application for a visa, your travel document that will go in your passport, and then also the client information document type, I guess. This is where you would include a letter of explanation to clarify anything about your application. It's also where you would include a study plan, which is one of the important components that I'll talk about here in a little bit. Okay. So quickly, I'd like to touch on the financial sufficiency and the funds required, okay, when submitting a study permit application. And so the proof of means of financial support is usually a requirement that is not well documented, meaning this is a reason why study permit applications get denied. The good thing about a study permit application, is that if it does get denied, you do have the option of reapplying and simply addressing the concerns that the immigration officer had when they were processing your previous study permit application, okay? So when preparing your financial documents, it's essential to show that you have enough funds to support your first year of study. And so there are two things that the immigration officers will look when they review your application. They will look to see for funds for the first year of studies, meaning the tuition, only for the first year. And then they're also looking to see additional living and travel costs that you have available. For 2024, if you're studying outside of Quebec, you have to be able to demonstrate a total of $20,635 to cover for your living and travel expenses in addition to your first year's tuition. Remember, you only need to show financial readiness for the first year, regardless of how long your program is. So for example, if your tuition is $20,000 annually for a 2-year program, you would need to show the $20,000 for the tuition and then the additional living and travel costs. Immigration officers recognize that every applicant's situation is unique, and so they do use their discretion when they're reviewing the financial documents. For lower risk applicants, they might request minimal documentation, while higher risk cases could require more detailed financial and supporting information to ensure that the applicant can meet their needs when they're in Canada and studying. And so by providing clear and thorough financial details, you can help streamline your application process and give officers confidence in your readiness to study here in Canada. Now let's talk about some various ways that you can demonstrate your financial readiness when applying for a study permit. If you have a way to transfer money to Canada, if you've already transferred money to Canada, you can show proof of a Canadian bank account in your name, and this would demonstrate that your funds are accessible locally. You can also provide bank statements, your current bank statements, right, from home for the past 4 months. These statements should show consistent account activity and that you have the required balance. If you've already paid your tuition, a receipt or confirmation of payment is a strong piece of evidence. However, depending on the timing, right, this may not always be possible at the time that you're submitting your study permit application. If you have any sorts of investments that can be liquidated immediately or before arriving in Canada, you can provide proof of these funds. Of course, if you've been awarded a scholarship, you would include official documentation outlining the amount and the terms of the award. And like I mentioned before, it's important to note that while some of these options may not be logistically possible at the time that you submit your application, providing as much relevant documentation as you can will help the immigration officer assess your financial preparedness and ensure a smooth review process. I'd also quickly want to mention some students receive support from family members. And so in that case, it would be crucial to obtain a letter written by the family member who is supporting you, simply outlining the ways in which they plan to support you financially during your studies. And this would need to come with some proof of funds on their part as well. And so all of the all of the requirements listed here, you would want to consider including proof of funds in the same way from the family member who is supporting you financially. Now, going back to another crucial component of a study permit application, I know that a study plan is not part of the standard document checklist for applicants. It's not a formal requirement. However, having one can significantly impact the outcome of your application in a positive way. And so a well-written study plan can provide important context for the immigration officer, giving them a clearer picture of your intentions and future plans in Canada. So let's dive into the elements of a study plan. When writing your study plan, you'll want to address several key points. First, you'll want to explain why you chose the program, the institution, and Canada as your destination. It's important to demonstrate your thought process and show that you've made an informed decision. Next, another thing that you could do is compare the program to those available in your home country. How does it differ in terms of the curriculum and the level of specialization and the duration? Does the program at SAIT, for example, offer co-op or internship opportunities? This helps to show the unique value of studying in Canada. Like I mentioned, if the program offers internship opportunities, it's something that you want to make sure that you mention because it highlights practical experience, which is valuable to you both, while you're studying and also for potential future employers. In your study plan, you want to tie everything back to your future professional goals. How will this program help you achieve those goals, and why is it the right step for you? Finally, remember to be detailed in your writing, avoid generalizations, and provide specific examples that reflect your genuine interest in the program and your long-term plans. A strong study plan will not only clarify your intentions, but will also significantly strengthen your application by demonstrating commitment, focus, and a clear vision for your future. You'll need to upload your study plan in the designated section. I've highlighted here on the screen where it says client information. Oops, second. Where it says client information. And like I mentioned, there's not a specific section in the document checklist for a study plan. And so drafting a study plan and including it in the client information section of the document checklist is really something that's going to make your study permit application stand out. It's also a place where if there's anything that you'd like to clarify about your financial documents, this is where you would upload it, okay? You can only upload one file per document type. And so if you have, for example, a study plan and then a letter of explanation to provide some additional context, or if there's anything unclear that you want to clarify, you would just combine it into one document, and that's where you would upload it. And so the goal is to offer the immigration officer with some additional context that helps them understand your situation beyond what's provided in your documents. However, still, it's important to keep this file clear and concise, ensuring that it's as straightforward as possible. I wanted to also briefly touch on, you know what, I'm going to finish this slide and then I'm going to go back to the very beginning because I think that I missed one very important slide at the beginning of the presentation. So let me just do this slide and then we're going to take a step back. I have here some information on the biometrics and the medical exam. And so many study permit applicants need to provide biometrics. After paying the $85 biometrics fee, you'll receive a biometrics instruction letter in your IRCC account. And from there, you can book an appointment at the nearest biometrics collection center to complete this step. As for the medical exam, you have two options. You can either wait for IRCC to request it after submitting your application, or complete an upfront medical exam and include the receipt in your application. Choosing the upfront option can sometimes save some processing time. Okay, I'm going to go back to a slide at the very beginning. This one, here we go. I actually wanted to start off the presentation with this information because I think I think everyone should be aware that the resources exist. They can be incredibly helpful because they give you a chance to preview how the IRCC platform works and what to expect as you go through the process. I'm happy to share this presentation with my co-host today in case we want to share it with the attendees. But the IRCC Come to Canada tool is a tool that I use every day as an international student advisor here in Calgary. We call it the Wizard. And what I love about this tool is that it mirrors the exact process that an applicant would go through, but without the need for an IRCC account. And so it's really useful for familiarizing yourself with the kinds of questions that you'll be asked throughout the application process. And it's a stress-free environment because it's only for reference. There's no pressure and there's no immigration decisions that will be made based on your answers. So basically, when you click on this link, it brings you to an IRCC page, and before getting to this screen over here, you click on a button that says, you find out if I'm eligible or something like that. And then you go through this questionnaire that is meant to filter you to the application that you want to apply for. And so, for example, where it says, what would you like to do in Canada? You would select from the drop-down menu options, study. And then in the second question, you would indicate that you want to study for more than 6 months. And you go through the questionnaire, and at the end, it does generate for you a personal reference code so that when you are ready to apply for a study permit and you're ready to create an account, you can enter that reference code and all of your answers will transfer over automatically. And this will also generate your document checklist. So you'll have everything ready to go when you start your actual application. When I'm working with students in Calgary, I find this tool to be extremely helpful because it helps applicants, it helps students see what's coming and what they have to do to submit an actual application. The two resources I've listed on the right-hand side are very short videos that we have posted on our website. You'll see the first video is only 3 minutes and 22 seconds, and it's a screen recording that walks you through how to create your IRCC account. The second video, only 7 minutes long, is a screen recording that walks you through how to get started with a new immigration application and create your personalized document checklist for a study permit application. And so I really value these two resources, and I encourage you to explore them as you start to think about applying for a study permit. And so I will just go back to where we were. So this is kind of just my final thoughts, okay, on submitting a study permit application. So while a study permit application might not require a long list of documents, the approval process can still be challenging. You want to make sure that you're treating it in a very thorough way. You want to double check that you've included all of the required documents. It's very easy to overlook something or to think that maybe it may not have much importance, but leaving anything out could lead to delays or even a rejection. Some key tips, the entire application will be done digitally, meaning unless you qualify for a very specific exception, you shouldn't be printing out your pages and signing them because that won't work. Once you have your document checklist in front of you, there is a little question mark, a little help feature next to each document. If you have questions about what that document should be or what they're looking for, you can click on that to get some more information. After you sign the form digitally, you'll be asked to pay your fees, and then from there you want to print the confirmation page for your records. Okay, but as we conclude, just remember that paying attention to these steps will guide you smoothly through the process. ensuring that you're all set for the next stage, remember to consider taking the time to draft a carefully thought out study plan and to include a letter of explanation in that client information section. Okay, if there's anything that you want to clarify for the immigration officer. And so with that said, I hope that you found this information valuable. Thank you so much for your time. My name is Vivian. I'm one of 3 international student advisors that work at the International Center at SAIT. And so this is what we do every day. We work with students and support them with their applications and help them navigate the complexities of, a new immigration system, a new educational system. And so if there's any way that I can be helpful, or if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me personally. My email is on the screen. And I wish you all the best as you move forward in your journey. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Vivian. Thank you so much for that beautiful presentation. It was very insightful. I understand that you might have to, leave soon. So I think I would just like to take a couple of questions before you go. So here is me opening the floor to questions. So if you have any question, please do well to you can raise your digital hands, or you could just ask those questions in the chat section so that we can read them out and Vivian takes them before we proceed with the next presentation. Okay. Okay, so I have a question for you, Vivian. So I would like you to clarify, in a situation where a student study permit is about to expire and the student has not completed their program, what would you advise the student to do in such instance?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's a very common situation that students find themselves in. Students end up needing to extend their study permits for all sorts of different reasons, whether it be they changed programs or they took a reduced course load, meaning, instead of 5 classes, they took 3, which means in the end they need more time. They had to take some time away from their program for personal reasons, and now they need, an additional semester. It's very important to maintain a valid study permit. And so IRCC says that a student should apply for a study permit extension at least 30 days before their permit expires. We typically advise in accordance with the processing times for an extension. And I think that to give you an example, right now, the processing, or the last time I checked, the processing time for study permit extension application was about 4.5 months. And so we would recommend in that case to apply for an extension about 4.5 months before their permit expires. And we can support you with that process, definitely. You require a confirmation of enrollment letter from SAIT. It's a very simple form that students fill out, and they get this letter that confirms their new or their updated program end date. And this is the date that IRCC will use to extend the study permit.
All right, thank you so much, Vivian. I can see a question in the chat box, and I can also see that one hand is raised. So we'll just take these 2 questions and then we will wrap up this session. So Oluwapelumi is saying, is there any chance for me, as I have been denied twice last year?
I think that there definitely is. It's very important to carefully review the denial letter and look at the reasons that the immigration officer indicated in the denial letter. And if you reapply, you have to reapply with different documentation. You can't reapply with the same information, that led to the study permit denial in the first place. And so I would recommend seeing if working with our partner Border Pass would be a good option. I don't have too much information on them, but I do know that they're a third party that SAIT works with, and they support students with their study permit application, and their lawyers, and they can carefully review your previous denial letter and make sure that the next time you apply, you submit a very strong application that addresses their concerns.
All right, thank you so much for that. Elumelu, okay, so Elumelu's hand is up. I'm going to unmute you now. Elumelu, you can take the floor and ask your question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I have admission for fall this year, so I applied for study permit, but I've just been denied based on insufficient assets and funds. So now and my PAL has expired. My PAL has expired. So applying for it, I don't know if it will be possible for me to get a new PAL if I apply. Then my chance of getting my permits approved, I don't know, because it's kind of traumatizing at this moment because I don't know what to do at this point.
So, so when you reapply for a study permit, you will need to have a valid PAL. My colleagues in recruitment, this is something that they handle and that they work on. And so it would be really important, if you haven't already, to email us. And I'm not sure if there's I can share the international email address here in the chat. And if you email to tell us your specific details and what you need, for example, if you require a new PAL, then we can filter that out. We can filter your message to the appropriate person who can best support you. But as I mentioned, when you're reapplying for a study permit, if you want to get it approved, you'll have to address the concerns in a different way. It might be worth working with our colleagues in Border Pass to see if they can support you with submitting a very strong study permit application that would take away some of the concerns that the immigration officer has. But if you're going to reapply with the same information, the same letter of explanation, the same documents, the chances are high that it would get denied again. Okay, you'll have to take a different approach with your application.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right, thank you so much, Vivian. I think those are all the questions that we currently have at the moment. We'll definitely be in touch and reaching out
Great.
So thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining and for the presentation. It was a pleasure.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vivian.
So up next, we'll be having Shifumi, who would be taking the floor now and sharing her presentation regarding SAIT. Shifumi, are you ready, please?
Yes, I am ready. Thank you, Christine. I'll just share my screen. Give me 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes to figure that out.
Okay. All right, perfect.
Please let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen now.
Okay. Is it full or how?
Yeah, yes.
Can you see my? Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
So I can see join.
Because we have, you can see join state. All right, great. So because we don't have, this is supposed to be a 30 minutes presentation, but I'll just run through so I don't take too much of your time. I don't want to go beyond 5 p.m. So I mentioned earlier on, by the way, my name is Shifumi. For those that are just joining, my name is Shifumi Obayo, and I am the Student Recruitment Advisor for SAIT in Africa. I will be the one answering questions about PAL and tuition discount or tuition deposit, because I saw a question about tuition deposit. So I'll get to that and I'll answer that question. We are in Calgary. SAIT is in Calgary, Southern Alberta Institute of Technology. It's in the southern part of Alberta. And Calgary is known for some beautiful things like high income per capita, low taxes. Alberta is known for free health, and the companies like about sorry, let me get to the 5 UNESCO heritage sites, famous national parks, and some really interesting companies in Canada, which I don't think I listed on my presentation. So I mentioned competitive tax rate, high minimum wage, and affordable cost of living, affordable healthcare, almost free, home to 5 UNESCO heritage sites, Canada's sunniest city. This means, it doesn't mean that, it doesn't snow in Calgary or in Alberta. It only means that even while it is snowing, it is bright and shiny. Calgary is the 3rd most diverse city in Canada, with more than 120 languages spoken. This shows diversity and the ease of integrating into the city. It's the second highest number of, it has the second highest number of corporate head offices in Canada. And I mentioned earlier that there are so many companies, and these companies cut across sectors like oil and gas, tech, healthcare, energy, and banking, finance, business management, etc. Reasons why international students choose SAIT. SAIT has the way our programs are designed makes it easy for students to acquire relevant skills, because our programs are majorly hands-on. The curriculum are generally industry-driven. That is, for example, the programs we have this year, we might not have them next year. And the programs we don't have this year, we might introduce next year. Because we listen to what the industry experts want, we listen to what Alberta wants, and we create new programs. Recently, we created a program called Early Childhood Education. We didn't have that before, but because we saw the need for it in Alberta, we had to create it. So it is industry-driven. Our curriculum is industry-driven, technology-based skilled learning, small class size of 30 to 35 students in a class. People generally complain that our program gets filled up easily and then we stop accepting application. It is because we want to maintain that small class size so that there can be easy relationship and interaction between faculty and students. Work integrated learning to give students practical experience so they are job ready the moment they graduate. This translates into our current 91% employment rate. So currently, students graduating from SAIT, we are sure that 91% of those students, in most cases, would get a good job within the first 6 months of graduation. We have a variety of programs like certificate program, diploma programs, bachelor's programs. So if you want just 1 year program, we have it in certificate. If you want 2 years, we have it in diplomas. And then if you want bachelor's, 4 years bachelor's, they are also available. Our hospitality and tourism program is #1, and our business program is also #1 in Canada. This is what international students have to say about SAIT. It's a video. I'll try to play it. So it's not playing at the moment, but I can play it later. I think it's because I downloaded this. I'll play that later. So I mentioned earlier that SAIT is over 100 years old now. Like, it was founded over 100 years ago. And I shouldn't go into this to be a repetition because I already mentioned most of these things. So over 6,000 international students are currently enrolled from over 163 nationalities. We have students, a lot of students from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, South Africa. We have from India, Sri Lanka, even from the US, UK, Australia, and so many other countries like that. The International Center has over 50 professional team members and student staff from all over the world, offering support to recruitment, admission support, services, and student advising. Like Vivian is an international student advisor. We have those that are academic advisors. We have students, we have staff that specializes in different areas of advising. Like I do recruitment. I can answer your questions about PAL, about applying to SAIT, about tuition discount. Vivian will answer questions around visa application. There are some people that will answer your questions about transitioning from study permit to work permit, and clubs on campus and so on and so forth. We have so many programs, over 100 programs across different schools, like the School of Energy, School of Digital Technology, School of Business, School of Construction, Transportation, Manufacturing and Automation, School of Hospitality and Tourism, School of Health and Public Health. So this shows that whatever program you want, we don't have all the programs in the world, but we have a lot of programs that you can choose from. I mentioned International Support Service, so I won't go into that again. This shows how we prepare students for employment in SAIT after graduation. And again, that is why we have the 91% employment rate year on year. This is about our student ambassador program. So as you are planning to study at SAIT, you might also be thinking about what the campus looks like and what student activities on campus look like. So on campus, we have student ambassadorship program. This program recruits students from different nationalities to come and both be the ambassador for their country and be the ambassador for SAIT. So if you participate in this program, you would, on a daily basis, you might be involved in organizing webinars with students, in welcoming new students to the campus, meeting with faculties to discuss some concerns that some students have. You would have your own channel that you'll be posting on, and this is not free. You get 5,000 Canadian dollars for participating in this program. You can see Folashade here. Folashade is a student ambassador from Nigeria, and she does most of these things. She has her own channel where she promotes. It's a way of promoting SAIT, but she basically just posts things that she sees on campus, a daily life. And then she can talk about why Nigerian students should study at SAIT, and another student might talk about why Sri Lanka students should study at SAIT. And then for this, they get 5,000 Canadian dollars scholarship. My colleague earlier mentioned Border Pass. Border Pass is a consultant that we work with, but in your own case, you would work with Skynet to support your visa, provide support, visa application support, and study permit support, visa advising support. You don't necessarily have to go to Border Pass, because for you, it will be a paid service, and I think Skynet is able to support you. So applying to SAIT, you would apply through Skynet, and Skynet has a portal that they would use for this application on your behalf. Application fee is 175 Canadian dollars, but because you have joined this webinar, we would be waiving this $175 for you. You generally get your offer within 5 working days in most cases. If we require additional information, it can extend to 2 or even 3 weeks. Once you get your offer, you are required to accept your seat within 2 weeks. Accepting your seat means paying your deposit, and your deposit is 3,500 Canadian dollars. Once you pay this 3,500 Canadian dollars, you get your LOA and you get your PAL. At the moment, we do not have additional application for PAL, and we also do not require any additional fee to get your PAL. Our admission requirement is very flexible. I mean, one of the most flexible admission requirements I've seen. We generally look for, well, depending on the program you're applying for, if you're applying for a business program like a Bachelor of Business Administration, we would want to see your WAEC results, WAEC, NECO, GCE, and all those things. If you're joining from Kenya, KCSC. If you're joining from Ghana, WASI, and if you're joining from Cameroon, your GCE. If you have more than that, some students have A level, some students have, AS, depending on your curriculum, IBs. We would also see, because what we really want to see is that you have claimed or gotten 65% of your grade, claimed 65% of your grade score. So this can translate into anything. For IB, it could be like your 5, for your WAEC, it could be your C6, and so on and so forth. Some programs would require a little higher than 65, which is your C6 or your 5 in IB, but generally we are very flexible. As a matter of fact, if you, for example, don't have one important subject, like if you want to study business and you don't have mathematics, there is a program called academic upgrading that you can even still take before you transition into first year of your studies. So generally, we would look at your high school certificates, the ones that I have listed, that is your WASI and so on, your final transcripts, because we want to understand your grade, some curriculum. We might not be familiar with some curriculum, depending on where you're joining from, some American curriculum. So we would want to see your transcript to understand the grades on your certificate. English language proficiency for some countries like Cameroon, if you're joining from Cameroon, but even for Cameroon, if you have attended an American school or a Canadian school, we can still waive the English language proficiency exams for you. But if you've studied in Nigeria and you've claimed a minimum of C in your high school exam, then the English language requirement is waived. We want to see your valid passport, because that is your ID. That is why we want to see it. Some students reach out to me saying that they've seen the 1 to 5 minute motivational video and asking if it's compulsory. No, it is not compulsory. It is optional. But for some programs, some very competitive programs, like what is coming to my head now? Like paramedic, I think it's primary care paramedic, and really, in programs like that, I would advise that you had your video, because it is a very competitive program. We do not need your financial statement, although that option is there. If you have it and you can provide it, you can go ahead and provide it, but that won't even add any value to your application. So it is totally unnecessary. Tracking your application. So you see, if you have access to your portal, if you want to have access to your portal, you would see these different stages on the portal. So when you submit your application, it is submitted. But before you submit your application, it will be incomplete. So you filled in all the necessary information, and you've even clicked submit, but you have not paid your application fee. It is going to show incomplete. Sorry, I needed to screenshot that. So it will show incomplete. And when you submit, it shows submitted. After submitted, information required. If we require an additional information, maybe you didn't add maybe you've changed your name due to marriage and you didn't add the proof of name change or any other thing, we would request for an additional information. If you get your offer and you pay, you would be offered a seat. That is, before you pay, you are conditionally accepted. No. Conditionally accepted is if you've accepted, conditionally is if you have gotten your offer and you've gotten your offer, but there is a condition to meet. Also, if you apply with predicted grades, we can issue you an offer with predicted grades, or with, we know that there's a particular condition you've not met, like maths condition, English condition, you can get an offer, but this offer will be conditional. Then when you meet your condition, it is unconditional. Then you go ahead to pay your 3,500 Canadian dollars. Time is running out. So you pay your 3,500 Canadian dollars, and then you like I said, you get your LOA, and in most cases you get your PAR. Waitlisted is if you've applied. I mentioned earlier that we have maintained small class size. So if you apply after we've gotten 30 to 35 students or application, 30 to 35 students or 30 to 35 seats, we will put you on wait list, but you can transfer this wait list to another program that is open. Decline simply means decline. Then canceled is when we cancel this application from our end. Tuition fee varies. There's a program that is 15,000 Canadian dollars, just that one program. There are some programs for 20,000 Canadian dollars up to 30,000 Canadian dollars. And the methods of payments are all on the website. You can use Pay My Tuition, CIBC. You can pay from your direct bank account, your local bank account, wherever you're joining from, Cameroon, Ghana, Nigeria. You don't have to convert to pay. So just go into your bank and you pay directly. We do have scholarships. Global Student Ambassador Scholarship is from 2,500 up to 5,000 Canadian dollars. I would generally say 5,000 Canadian dollars. Then we have athletic scholarship for students interested in sports on campus. If you actively participate in this sport, because sports for us is not limited to the campus. You can even play for Calgary, you can play for Alberta, you can even play for Canada. So it is taken seriously. And then if you participate actively, you can get some scholarships. But these sports scholarships are also linked to your academics. So you must be doing well academically before you can claim any sports scholarship from SAIT. I think I have covered as much as possible. So I jumped some. If you have any question, you can ask, and then I'll go back to anything I've not said and just briefly talk about it.
All right, thank you very much, Shefumi. Thank you so much for that presentation. It was very insightful and very detailed and spot on. I can see that we have a couple of questions in the chat box. So I'm just going to take some of those questions that are here. Okay, so Sandra is saying, is this deposit refundable on the grounds of a visa denial?
Yes, it is refundable minus 250 Canadian dollars.
Okay, all right, thank you. So it means that the students will be receiving their refund, but an administrative fee of 250 Canadian dollars will be applied,
yes,
right?
Right, you're right.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. Ihoma is saying, how much is the tuition deposit?
3,500 Canadian dollars.
Okay, all right, thank you. I think this is all the questions in the chat box. I think I will just leave the floor open now for people to ask questions. You can simply use the hand icon to raise your hand, your digital hand, so that I can take your question. Okay, we have another question here in chat box. Sir Okonkwo Victor is saying, can tuition be paid in installments?
Yes, it can. You pay per semester. But for the first semester, after paying your 3,500 Canadian dollars, you'll be required to pay up your first semester fee. That is, so your semester fee would be your entire tuition per year divided into 2, and then you would have paid 3,500 Canadian dollars from this. Then the balance, you'll be required to pay the balance just about a month before you resume.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Thank you. I can see a hand is up, so I'm just going to unmute Morenike so that she can ask her question. Okay, Morenike, please, can you go ahead with your question?
You might as well type it, Morenike.
Okay, so while we are waiting for Morenike to ask her
Okay,
question.
good afternoon.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Sorry. Good afternoon. So sorry, please. I had a meeting in the office. I was not able to join on time. So I've been following the Instagram page and I've been looking towards this webinar, but so sorry I joined it. It's not a question actually. I just want to know if I can get the recorded version of this meeting.
Yes, you can get the recorded version, Morenike. We are also streaming this session live on YouTube, so you can also check our YouTube, and or you could also reach out to us at info@unicollegelink.com, and we'll share the link to this webinar on YouTube with you so that you can look through it and get all the information that you need.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. I can see that we also have Balumi's hand was up, but I don't know, his hand is no longer up, so I want to assume his question has been answered. So I'm going to go back to the chat box now. Someone is saying, how do we get the application fee waiver? So like I said, you can just reach out to us via email at info@unicollegelink.com, and just send us an email and just let us know that you were in today's session, you attended the webinar, and we would issue your waiver to you. Okay. And then there's another question here in the chat box which says, is a student loan available? Are student loans available at SAIT? Shefumi?
At the moment, no. We are considering partnership with a third-party organization to make that available. I'll keep Unicollege Link posted, so you can always reach out to them and find out.
All right, thank you very much. I also have a question I would like to ask. So I know that in line with the current IRCC policy, there's been a change in some certain programs, being PGWP eligible. Could you please speak briefly on that? The programs that are eligible for PGWP, postgraduate work permits, at SAIT, just so that we can all know the programs that are available and also benefit from this as well.
All right, thank you so much, Christine. So we have a lot of programs available, PGWP programs available, and I won't be able to list them all. But what we did immediately we heard the news was to open up some new programs that we're not accepting applications for international students for. We opened them up to international students to apply, or programs like optometry assisting and so many health programs like that, paramedic care and a lot of health programs that I can't list. And some programs that were not PGWP, we still have them, but if you check the website, you would see if a program is PGWP eligible or not PGWP eligible. But just know that we still have a lot of programs that are PGWP eligible. And I would just mention one. I want to mention this course because generally people think business programs are not PGWP eligible, but a Bachelor of Business Administration is PGWP eligible because it's a supply chain stream, like it has supply chain attached to it. So Bachelor of Business Administration, Supply Chain Management. So it is a business program, a 4-year business program that is still PGWP eligible. We also have it in diploma, 2 years diploma, PGWP eligible, and a whole lot of technology-related programs like environmental, architectural, avionic, a lot of them. So you just go to the website and check by yourself, but ensure that you come back to UniCollect link for application.
All right. All right. Thank you very much for that, Shefumi. There's another question here as well in the chat box. Okay, so Ramatu is saying, are there programs for graduate students, those with bachelors already? I think she has answered this. Yes, there are. So all you just need to do is send us an email just send us an email, info@unicollegelink.com, and we would just go through your document and suggest programs that you are eligible to apply for at SAIT and just get you started with your application journey. Okay, Roslyn is also saying, please do those new eligible programs provide graduate degree certificates, diploma?
Graduate degree, what do you mean by that? Do you mean, are you asking about bachelor's, master's, or post-diploma certificate? But generally, I'll answer that question and just assume that you mean any of these things, any of the 3 options I listed. So our programs, we have certificate programs, we have diploma programs, we have bachelor's programs, then we have post-diploma programs. What we don't have is masters, but the post-diploma programs in Canada anyway, is still regarded as, it won't be called masters, but you still benefit from whatever master students would get in the job market. So you want to study, you want to work in an IT firm, and you come if you come to say to get like a post-diploma program in cybersecurity, you would still be able to compete successfully with somebody that has gone to acquire a master's degree. Do you get? So it's in the Canadian job market, post is post, right? But then I don't know if I've answered your question.
Okay, I believe that this was well detailed and answered. Okay, there's another question in the chat box. Okay, so yeah, she said yes, thank you. You've been able to respond to her question. Do we have any more questions that we'd like to ask before we call it a day and wrap this up? So I'll just wait for a couple of seconds to see if we'll get more questions, and then we'll take those questions before we call it a day. Okay, so there's one question here in the chat box, Shefumi. Okay, so Ehimen Elvis is saying, for Nigerians with NECO, which is equivalent to WAEC, can such students apply?
Absolutely. So we accept WAEC, NECO, GCE, we accept A-level, AS, IB, American curriculum, everything. But what we would need to do is, you would need, well, I think for NECO, the transcript is already there, stating so means this. So we would be, the admissions team will look at the transcript to understand what the grade is, and then you would be given an offer.
All right, thank you. So Morenica is asking, what course can I take as a chartered accountant for masters?
I can't tell, but I would say it depends on what you want to achieve. Some accountants will still do the post-diploma program in maybe data analytics because they want to divert into the tech sector, but the accounting and the data part of it. Some accountants will come and take the post-diploma in business administration, supply chain management, because they feel like they would get a job in Canada. I mean, like, it depends on what you want to do. And I believe that if you sit with UniCollect link, you would be able to identify what suits you.
All right, thank you very much. There's also a follow-up question after that. Morenike, can you please just give me a moment? I can't seem to find this question anymore, but I think she was asking something in line with okay, yeah, I can see it now. Also, do I need proof of English proficiency,
If you have
like
studied,
IELTS?
if you've studied in Nigeria, from the name, sorry, you might be in any other, maybe, okay, so if you've studied in Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and South Africa, and all these other countries, no, you don't. But if you are in Cameroon and you've studied in Cameroon, yes, you will need it.
Okay, all right, thank you. So Palumi is saying, oh, this is for me. Kristen, this is for you. Do you guys help with visa too, or is it just admission? So yes, we do assist our students with their visa application. However, what we do is we schedule general visa consultation sessions for our students, and then we get visa experts who come on these sessions to advise students on how to put in their visa application, their study permit application, basically. However, we also have the paid visa application process as well, which involves you making payments of your visa application to a visa expert. That is, if you want to, if you want a visa expert to be the one to handle your application, then you pay for that service. However, we organize free bi-weekly visa sessions for our students to advise them on how to submit their visa applications, the things that they need to know, what they, the documents you need for your visa application, those that you just tips generally on how to submit your visa application to Canada, basically. Yeah, so we do that. All you just need to do is just reach out to us, info@unicollegelink.com, and then we'll get you started with all of this process. And as soon as you get your offer letter, we would schedule this consultation with you and just point you the right direction on how to apply for your visa application. Okay. So you see now you're saying, will I pay the full school fee before I get a visa to Canada?
No. So you pay 3,500 Canadian dollars before you get your LOA and your PAL. So now, whatever happens between, when we gave you that, and then when you get your visa, will be your own decision, or your own, you will now work with your own timeline, so to say. So what I'm saying is, if you would pay before you I mean, I don't know how best to explain this. I'm just saying that is not a SAIT question, but for us, you just pay 3,500 Canadian dollars and you get your LOA and your PAL, which you can now go and apply for your visa with. Do you get?
All right, thank you. So I think I also like to add, so regardless of the fact that the tuition deposit for SAIT is 3,500 Canadian dollars and you'll be issued your LOA and your PAL, it is still advisable that you make payment of at least your first semester fees, so you can pay up the balance of the remaining first semester fees before you apply for your visa, just so that it gives you like an edge, right, when you apply for your visa, and then it just shows financial commitment to the school, which is something that the visa officers are looking to see. They want to be sure that when you go over to Canada, you will indeed attend SAIT and not, run away and do something else. So that will increase your chances of, receiving your visa. So we strongly advise that, in addition to making payment of this tuition deposit to SAIT, you also go a step further to make additional payment of at least your first semester fees, just to strengthen your chances of receiving a visa. All right. So I will take one question before we call it a day. Ihoma is saying, any health and safety related courses available?
Yes, we have healthcare related programs. And
Shefumi, did you get that?
Yes, you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes, I said we have some health related programs.
Yes, Shefumi, I can hear you. Okay. All right. Would you like to list one of the programs, health related programs that is about SAIT?
I'll try. We have optometry assisting, we have healthcare leadership, early childhood education is part of it. It's under the same department. And we have primary care paramedic, and then there is also one other paramedic program. Then we have respiratory. So it's respiratory assisting, something like that. It has to do with respiration. So I can't remember what it is.
Okay, all right, no problem. So for Ma, I'm sure you've heard all that Shifumi has said. There's a wide range of health-related programs that you can explore, especially if you are, one who is looking to get into the health industry or you're already in the health industry already. What I would just have been saying, and we'll just request your documents and then evaluate you, or just do a review of the documents that you have provided, right? And just profile you based on the best option or the best program that would be suitable for you. Okay. This brings us to the end of this session. Thank you so much, Shifumi, for joining this call and taking out time to tell us all that SAIT has to offer. Special thanks also goes to Vivian Trudel, who is not here, who also gave us tips and insights into the visa application process and how to, put in a strong visa application to Canada or to IRCC as a whole. And also thank you to everyone who was also able to join. Well, we do not take it for granted. Thank you so much for joining. This call is being recorded and is also being streamed as well on YouTube. So if you want to go back to it, you can always do so. And for those of you who joined the call, like Shefumi said, there is application fee waiver. So all you just need to do is reach out to us, info@unicollegelink.com, and just let us know that you're on the call. Of course, we're going to do our due diligence. It's not going to be open to everybody. So if you're on the call, just send us an email and we would send you your waivers and just assist you with your application to SAIT basically. So thank you so much everyone for joining. Like I said, do enjoy the rest of your day and bye bye.